Well, hello everybody. So today is what, Friday already? Oh my gosh, it's the weekend. I can't even believe it. I mean, time just goes faster and faster. You know, when I was a young girl, before I was a registered nurse, I worked in a nursing home, and I would ask the residents then, and I was probably 20, like 24 years old or so, and I'd ask the residents there that still had their mind and their wits about them, if time ever slowed down, like as you get older and you retire and or you're working part time and whatever, that surely life slows down, because you're not racing around with the kids to daycare and school and cooking and cleaning, and you've got a job and all of those things. And they said, absolutely not. They said, I know it's hard to believe, but it goes faster and faster and faster. The older you get, the faster time goes. And man, they were speaking the truth. It's just crazy how fast time goes. I know you guys get it. It's faster and faster every year. So the thing I wanted to touch on tonight, sorry, I have an itch. That must mean like company's coming, isn't it? When your nose has an itch, maybe I'm gonna have some company. I better get to cleaning my kitchen's a sight. Fixing a clean kitchen. So anyway, but sensory processing disorder, as they call it, or for me, I call it sensory processing challenges, because I don't like to refer to things as disorders or problems or, the negative light. I'd rather reframe it in a positive thing, and so I call it sensory processing challenges because they're challenges. And most of us have some sort of sensory processing challenge. For me, I have no sense of smell. Zero. None. So it made a good nurse out of me, I tell you, because I couldn't smell any of the stuff that they were smelling. It also was difficult because the other nurses could go in and smell certain infections, when they walked in the room or did a dressing change. Well, I didn't have that advantage, but I also couldn't smell all that they could smell. And so a lot of times I got the dirty jobs. But anyway, so mine is the sense of smell. And of course, then my sense of taste is off. So I always thought that Jell-O and marshmallows and Skittles and all of those things were only colors. I had no idea that they were different flavors, because who knew? And to me, Coke, Dr. Pepper, Pepsi, all of those things, they taste the same. So that's my little itty bitty piece of it. There's more, but that's my little piece. So that's how my brain wraps around some of what goes on with kiddos and adults, I guess, with sensory processing challenges. And so what we see as a beautiful time of year, a lot of us, with the Christmas trees and the lights and probably the smells and the tastes and the touches and feels and the music and all of the things that are going on that remind us of when we were kids, or take us back to last year even, or a memory here, or a fond memory of grandma there, or whatever it is. For a lot of our kiddos, especially with sensory processing challenges, man, it's overwhelming. Even just the leaves changing, that time of year when the leaves start changing and the grass changes color and it becomes more cloudy and overcast, all of those things are humongous to these kids, which I didn't get at first. And they require more sensory input or less sensory input, depending. And it goes, right now they may need some input, and 10 minutes from now they may need something to help them calm down a little bit, that you're kind of taking some of that sensory out. So Giovanni loves intense stimulation, so he likes me to sit on him. I know it sounds weird, but sit on him, hit him with pillows, vibration like a handheld back massager. He loves the vibration of that. He loves bright lights, flashlights. But he really likes to be manhandled, basically, is what I would call it. So Sergio throws him on the couch like a sack of potatoes, is what he calls him. And the more aggressive the input, the calmer he'll be, and the more receptive he is to other things. But things like changing up the house, changing up the outside shopping areas, everything is just so full of sensory stimulating items right now. Even the speakers in the stores set him off. Like, he's he'll stop, and you have to keep up with him because, at one point he's running and the next point he's at a dead stop staring at the ceiling, and you think, what's going on with him? Well, what's that noise, Mommy? What's that noise? Anytime an alarm goes off in a store, just all the little sounds, a baby crying, any little sound that he hears out of the ordinary, he's got to stop and figure out what that sound is. And then Amelia is my smeller, so everything she has to stop and smell. Everything. I'm talking about even foods, if there's a different food put on the table, a different drink, a flower that we pass by, whatever it is. Today I put little clippy air fresheners in the car, drove her nuts. And it's things like that I don't think about. I don't have a sense of smell. I think that maybe my car stinks. So, I've got 3 kids and me and Sergio, and I think it probably stinks in there. So I put these little clippy air fresheners at my sprays, and right away she's, what's that smell? What's that smell? Can I smell it? Can I see it? She wants to know where it's coming from and the source and all of that. And to them then, it can be overwhelming and cause a lot of anxiety and stress. And that comes out a lot of times in some negative ways, like meltdowns. And so it causes a lot of potential frustrating episodes throughout the day. And we all have to be prepared for that as parents. And so I just wanted to touch on that and let you guys know you're not alone. It is a real thing. When we first started learning about it, thank you, Christy Powell, our speech therapist, that really enlightened us and got me some books that I could read and tangible things. I got to wrap my brain around it, and then I've got to try it out, and I have my lists, and yes to this checklist thing, yes, he does all these things, and no to these things, and if he does these things, then try this activity, or try this for de-escalating a situation, or try this for giving him some more input or whatever. And it worked amazingly well. And when he's got his input, and you can tell when they're shutting down, when they need something, some sort of stimulation, and you have to just change it up. Like I say, sometimes it's swinging like this in a circular motion, which is stimulating to them, and sometimes they need the back and forth motion, which is calming to them. And sometimes for some kids to sit on them and bounce on them is calming. I mean, it makes Giovanni laugh. That will make him laugh, and it's calming. And so if he's in the middle of a meltdown and I just sit on him and bounce a little bit, I mean, it's perfect. Stretch his arms way up over his head, stretch him up high, and just like almost like a torture chamber, I guess. Like stretch him, he lays on the ground and I stretch his arms way up, and he'll start laughing, and it just calms him down. So just experiment with your kids, buy some books, get on the internet and study some of that information. It's very worthwhile. And if you think that your kid might have some sensory processing challenges, I mean, especially at this time of season when you're like, God, what's the deal? I took the kids tonight to look at Christmas lights. I thought it was going to be a great time. So we had an activity we had to go to, and I thought, well, it's dark on the way home. We're going to go through one neighborhood. It's a beautiful neighborhood here in town. It's Wolfland. And my daughter-in-law told me, she was like, you gotta go. She calls it Millionaire's Circle. She said, go over there to Millionaire's Circle. It's just beautiful this year. I guess they're all at home, had nothing else to do, so they hung a bunch of lights. But I'm telling you, it was gorgeous. And my little high anxiety love, man, the other two were going off in the back seat. Kicking the car and yelling and screaming and, overstimulated by the stuff going on. And Gianna handles it the best of all. She's my champ. But Giovanni was just going off. And Amelia was sitting beside him. Are we almost home? Are we almost home? It's dark out. The big bad wolf's coming out. Are we almost home? Are we almost home? Mommy, are we almost home? Are we almost home? It made it awful. Like she was so stressed out, she needed to go home. So I said, okay, one more street and then we're gonna go. And I told her, you've got to not ask me anymore. We're heading home. I try to talk her down out of that anxiety, but it's hard. She's buckled in the back seat. I'm driving the car. There's not a whole lot you can do at that moment to calm a kid. So anyway, we came on home, and as soon as we got here, she was just fine. So I just knew that. I knew when it gets dark out, she gets overly anxious anyway, but I thought I would just try it. So we're gonna try it again, and I told you guys, I love those Ollie stress relief tabs. I won't hit her with any melatonin because it'll make her go to sleep, but I'll probably try it again because I want her to enjoy it if possible, and maybe have Sergio drive us, and I'll give her the Ollie stress relief so that she's not so up in arms about it being dark out. And maybe we can enjoy the lights with her, and she can actually sit back and take it in and, enjoy a part of Christmas. Or maybe it's just that it's not gonna happen for her this year. She is not gonna enjoy this at all. So, we're all on this boat together, and though I've parented children before, and have multiple grandchildren, this parenting is not like riding a bicycle. It's not, and each kid is different and brings their own blessings and their own challenges to us. And so Sergio and I are learning a lot of new things as we go along, and we're so grateful for the lessons, and we've become people we never would have been without these kiddos with us, and man, are we grateful. But just so you know, guys, you're not in this alone, and if you're struggling at all, or if you have any great ideas or experience, let us know, because we could all use all the help we can get. And this time of year, we want it to be the happiest and most memorable, in a good way, that it can be. So anyway, that's all I got for you tonight. Just be thinking about things that you can do to help ease some of these sensory processing challenges for the kiddos in your life. So anyway, we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. You have a blessed night and get lots of rest, and we'll be talking at you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.